Mai Valentine's Duelist Kingdom deck was not only a bit on the hot and spicy side, leading to a lot of censorship edits for the West, but was also the first deck to use a cohesive archetype. While most duelists focused on Yugi and Kaiba's legendary decks, Mai's collection of Harpy cards and spell combinations actually broke the game back then. Mai deserved more respect as a duelist. Not only because she dueled with a confidence that rivals the Pharaoh himself, but because she revolutionized what it meant to have a themed deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! We're going beyond the aroma tactics and mind games in this one as we break down 36 facts about Mai Valentine's iconic Duelist Kingdom deck. Despite this card's name being Dark Witch, the card isn't actually either a Dark Attribute or Spellcaster type monster. The card is actually a Light Attribute Fairy type, and this could be because of the card's Japanese name, which when translated is Valkyrie, which makes sense to me. Though you could argue this because in Old English, a Valkyrie meant a female magic user or a witch. Dark Witch has a counterpart called La Moon, which in turn has two more monster counterparts of its own, Pendulum Moon and One Length La Moon. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with counterparts, a card is called a counterpart of another card if it has an intentionally identical appearance or effect. This also occurs when a monster's alternate artwork is converted into a different monster, with the only difference being a palette switch. Now, a coherent theme with Mai's deck is that a bunch of her cards are a little on the not safe for work side and have been censored in the West compared to the Japanese originals. A fun fact is that Mai herself actually underwent some censorship of her own. Here is what her original manga appearance looked like before the anime got their hands on her. Pretty tasty. Anyway, in terms of this spicy little witch, or Valkyrie, we can see that to avoid showing sexual content, the international version of this card lengthens her skirt and reduces and covers her cleavage. Her horns have also been recolored and made slightly less pointy to prevent any association with religion. Along with the other protagonists' ace cards such as Dark Magician, Blue Eyes White Dragon, and Red Eyes Black Dragon, Harpy Lady is widely regarded as one of the franchise's best known monsters. The monster is also tied heavily with mythology. The series creator Kazuki Takahashi has used mythology as inspiration for some of his monsters on many occasions, and Harpy Lady is another one of them. In Greek and Roman mythology, harpies are female monsters that take the shape of birds with human faces. They take food from their victims while they are eating and carry evildoers. Did you know that the TCG name of this card is a mistranslation? That's right, the TCG name is a mistranslation as Harpy is singular, whereas the Japanese name when translated, Harpies, is plural. Interestingly, in earlier episodes of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, the card was also known as the correct Harpys Lady. We're back with more censorship, and you could argue that Harpy Lady is the flagship card when it comes to this topic. Her artwork in the original Japanese version included a provocative attire as well as sharp, scary details, giving her a strong presence. They made considerable adjustments to the Western version of the card, including adding a full bodysuit to cover her exposed skin. These modifications were aimed at decreasing her sexualization and making the card more appealing to a younger audience. Did you know that Harpy Lady Sisters is the first wind main deck monster that cannot be normal summoned? Additionally, here's something I always find interesting about these type of cards. As we know, the Harpy Lady Sisters are 3 Harpies, right? Well, this card's attack, defense, and level are equal to half of the combined attack, defense, and levels of 3 Harpy Ladies. To put it simply, Harpy Lady Sisters have 1.5 times the stats of a single Harpy Lady. Remember when we talked about mythology as inspiration for the cards earlier? Well, the game Yu-Gi-Oh! The Falsebound Kingdom takes it a step further. The three Harpy ladies are named Aero, Occupate, and Karrarin, which are variant spellings of the three Harpies from Greek mythology. Aelo, Ocypete, and Seleno are the names of three Harpies, often referred to as the Harpy Sisters. Aelo is famed for her swiftness, Ocypete known for her speed, and Seleno is frequently linked with darkness. While Harpy Lady had a bluish skin tone in the original artwork, Harpy Lady Sisters has a typical human flesh skin tone. Interestingly, only Harpy Lady and the anime version of Harpy Lady Sisters have blue skin, while the rest of the Harpies have a human skin tone. Thematically, Harpy's Pet Dragon is said to signify submission or loyalty. This comes from the anime when Yugi used brain control on this card, and it did not attack Mai's Harpy Lady. This effect, where it refuses to attack Harpy Lady no matter what, was limited to the anime version of this card, and later added as a legitimate card effect on the retrained versions of the monster, where Harpy monsters could not be targeted for attack. Another thing this dragon is said to signify is, well, a little odd, but it does make a lot of sense. So, the Harpy's Pet Dragon may be based on a gimp, as the archetype is also inspired by BDSM culture. Take that one how you will, I suppose. This card has three counterparts, which could also be seen as potential Harpy's Pet Dragon offspring. We have Harpy's Pet Baby Dragon, Harpy's Pet Phantasmal Dragon, and the retrained variant called Harpy's Pet Dragon Fearsome Fire Blast. Did you know that the Harpy's Pet Dragon is the first dragon effect monster released in the OCG, which came out in 1999 as a promotional card for the Japanese release of Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. However, the game Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses didn't like Harpy's Pet Dragon being an effect monster.
No, don't like that.
In this game, it was made a non-effect monster, and Harpy Lady has the effect that increases its attack. Cyber Shield is another of Mai's cards that got censored in the West. The nipple spikes on the armor that were present in the Japanese manga and anime were removed from Western artworks to avoid sexual associations. And when it comes to the card's artwork, the manga and Bandai versions of Cyber Shield feature a different background than the OCG and TCG as well as the Japanese anime. What is also interesting is that the color and style of the armor have varied throughout the anime. Here's a cool detail. Did you know that one of Harpy Lady's counterparts, Cyber Harpy Lady, is basically just Harpy Lady equipped with Cyber Shield? Its 1800 attack is Harpy Lady's 1300 plus the 500 attack boost from Cyber Shield. Interesting extra detail is that in the anime, Cyber Shield also increases the defense of Harpy Lady by 500 points. Cyber Shield came out in the OCG in 1999 as a promotional card for the game Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters 2 Dark Duel Stories. This card wouldn't drop in the TCG for another 11 years, where it came out as a common card in 2011's Storm of Ragnarok set. Dispel's Japanese name in the manga was Maho Kaijo, which when translated reads as Magic Cancellation. Now, Dispel has an anime-only counterpart called Cursebreaker, which negates all spell effects inflicted by your opponent. As for Dispel, that only allows you to target and destroy one spell card. Dispel was used a handful of times during Duelist Kingdom, but an interesting use of it came in episode 23 when Kaiba used it against Yugi. The anime, of course, has its own set of rules most of the time, and this case was no different. So, Dispel had to be used in combination with a monster that could use magic, and then it destroyed one random spell card in your opponent's hand. In this episode, Kaiba used Dispel with Lejin, the mystical genie of the lamp. Elegant Egotist's card artwork depicts Harpy Lady's head through a kaleidoscope. This is supported by the card's Japanese name, which is Mangekyo Kareinaru Bunshin, which when translated reads as Kaleidoscope Magnificent Doppelgangers. On top of that, the numerous heads shown in the kaleidoscopic view also represent this card's ability to summon several copies of Harpy Lady. Elegant Egotist came out in the OCG in 1999 in the Volume 4 set and was the first card to special summon monsters from the main deck. In the anime, this card came with an interesting rule. Elegant Egotist prevented the summoned monster from attacking in the same turn. This effect was scrapped post the Duelist Kingdom arc. Harpy's Feather Duster is the first and only Harpy card to appear in the TCG and OCG Forbidden and Limited lists. It was initially forbidden in the OCG in March 2004 and in August 2004 in the TCG. However, it was reverted to limited status in the OCG in January 2015 and forbidden in the TCG until September 2020. A really cool detailed link to this is that Harpy's Feather Duster's effect is featured in the card Karrarin Kazan, along with 4 other forbidden cards. This card has 4 effects, each representing a forbidden normal spell card. The 4 spells were Raigeki, Harpy's Feather Duster, Delinquent Duo, and Pot of Greed. Some versions of Harpy's Feather Duster's card artwork include a monster card alongside the artwork for House of Adhesive Tape. The artwork depicts the card as a classic OCG monster card and not a trap card. This artwork has been changed in the TCG to remove the name of the swept card. Did you know that Harpy's Feather Duster was the first spell and trap card printed in holographic rare? Now, holographic rare is a rarity added to the OCG edition of Tactical Evolution. It features the same silver text as a secret rare card, but many colours have been removed from the card image, and the entire card is holographic. This is the OCG version of Ghost Rare. Now, Harpy's Feather Duster was released as a holographic rare in 2018's Duelist Pack Legend Duelist 4. Monster Reborn is famous for having 2 different artworks, each with their own iconic symbols on them. Did you know there is a card out there that features both of these symbols? That card is Monster Reborn Reborn. Most people prefer the international version of Monster Reborn, and that card features in the artwork of the trap card Monster Rebirth. Monster Reborn has an anime-only counterpart called Rebirth Tablet, which also features an Ankh symbol in its artwork. Monster Reborn's Japanese name is Shisha Sosei, which when translated reads Resurrection of the Dead. Rose Whip is the anime-only counterpart to Electro Whip. However, Konami's effect for Electro Whip prevented it from being used in the same context as it was in the manga. A similar change was also made for Dark Energy, becoming Negative Energy Generator. Rose Whip's Japanese name is Bara no Michi, which when translated reads as Rose's Ignorance. Rose Whip is one of those cards that hasn't been printed that many collectors and character deck builders would love to have a physical copy of because it just feels like an iconic Mai card. It's iconic because of how it fitted into Mai's Harpy strategy and how often she played it. So let's play a little game. Can you guess how many times Mai played Rose Whip in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters? The answer is 6 times. Did you know that Mirror Wall has the highest life point maintenance cost in the game? Interestingly, Mirror Wall didn't have a maintenance cost when it first appeared in the manga and later in the anime. However, it's safe to presume that the maintenance cost was added to the card when it was printed for the TCG was most likely to balance it. This one is really interesting. Mirror Wall appears in the card artwork of the anime version of Trap Jammer, but it's replaced with a bear trap in the OCG and TCG prints. Mirror Wall's Japanese name is Ginmaku no Mirawaru, which when translated reads as Silver Screen Mirror Wall. And while we're on the topic of name differences, in the German dub, this card was named Silberner Spiegelvorhang, which means silver mirror curtain. Apologies, awful German pronunciation there. Did you know that the eyes on this card look to be those of Harpy Lady? The argument for this is that Shadow of Eyes was used by Mai in the anime, and she also uses a Harpy deck, making it a perfect choice. In the anime, this card was a magic card, but in the English version, it was shown as a trap card and incorrectly referred to as an accessory card. Now, the anime effect of Shadow of Eyes states that your opponent's monsters are moved to attack position, requiring them to attack whenever available. However, this card's effects do not apply to female monsters. This card, in the anime and manga, is one of 3 with an effect that targets a certain gender of monster. The other 2 are the anime's Maiden in Love and the manga's number 22, Zombiestein. Shadow of Eye's Japanese name is Yuwaku no Shadow, which when translated reads as Shadow of Seduction. The card has also been referred to as the Alluring Shadow. Mai Valentine was a strong, fierce, and confident opponent who, 1, doesn't often get the respect she deserves, and 2, is a duelist almost ahead of her time during the Duelist Kingdom era, and that was all due to the fact that she ran a deck that had a cohesive archetype. But there was another duelist who ran a deck with a fierce and, well, pretty goofy archetype. And that was none other than the creator of the game himself. And you can check that deck out here, where I dive into 93 facts about Maximilian Pegasus' Duelist Kingdom deck. I'll see you over there. It's a great video, but till then, take care. Peace, peace!